So do you want to be a guitar YouTuber? Are you sure? Well, we've got part 4 of our series of how to be a guitar YouTuber coming up for you today, right here on GearGasms. Hi kids, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Today we have part 4 of So You Want to Be a Guitar YouTuber. If you're new to this channel, please hit the like button. That helps people find this video. Also, if you subscribe, you won't miss a single second of this 5-part series. In today's episode, we're going to be covering a whole host of things. We're going to be covering how to name your channel, how to develop a logo, how to start thinking about branding your channel. We're going to also teach you how to make titles that lead people to search for your content. We're going to talk about making thumbnails that are more impactful, that help draw viewers into your content, and also using titles, descriptions, and tags as a way to help drive searches to your content as well. So for the first part of this video, let's take a look at finding a name for your channel, and then from that point developing some logos and some branding. So one of the first things you want to do when you're thinking of a name for your channel, I'm going to burst your bubble a little bit. It's a guitar channel you're starting. First thing you want to do is go to YouTube, search the word guitar, filter for channels, and then you will cry at all the channels out there that have guitar in the title. The second thing you'll probably think to try and do is maybe put your name in it. And as you can see here, there's already people that have been around on YouTube a long time and they've got big channels and their name is in it, like Daryl Braun Guitar, Paul Davids, Jared Dines, Stevie T, Tim Pierce. There's just all kinds of stuff out there already that has that. So maybe you want to do guitar gear because that's your focus, like mine was. And look, there's already a channel with 10,000 subscribers called Guitar Gear. Guitar Gear Demos, Guitar Gear Guy, all kinds of stuff. It's really hard at this point with the proliferation of YouTube channels out there to come up with something that's interesting and unique. And I knew there was a company called GearGasms, and I think they make headphones. So I thought, what about GearGasm? That was my first thought. It has alliteration. It's kind of catchy. It's easy to remember. I go to search it. Damn it, there's already a GearGasm channel. So I decided to get clever. One thing I noticed is there were 2 of these, but there was none of this. I made this channel GearGasm. Now the name's important because that leads into branding. Once you have a name, you'll want to get into branding, and one of the first pieces of branding that you're going to need is a logo. What that was basically, in the video software I use, it was a title, like a pre-built title, and all I did was pick a font and put the words in that font, and then once it got to a certain size on the screen, I just took a screen cap of it, and I kind of got lucky. I mean, I completely got lucky with the name that it wasn't in use, and I kind of got lucky with the logo. I lucked into getting a decent logo, and of course, as you could see here, I started to put it on stuff on the set, on t-shirts and things like that. And so I got lucky with my name. You'll want to choose a name that's descriptive enough, but is easily searchable. I wish I had better advice to tell you how to pick a name. Next, we're going to be talking about titles. Picking the right title for your video. I know it seems like a no-brainer, but there's a little bit of art and a little bit of science to it. We'll talk about how to structure a title, how to search YouTube for content related to the content you're posting to get titling ideas and see some titling mistakes. Titles, it's the same kind of thing. Your first best bet is to do a YouTube search. And let's say you're going to do a video about a Stratocaster. It will give you the top search terms for American Special Stratocaster. That'll give you an idea of maybe what people are searching for and how you might want to title your video. If you're doing just a plain review on it, that's number 2, probably only because I've searched on it. See what's already out there, what people are searching for. So you want to be kind of careful. If you just got an American Special Stratocaster, don't title your video My New American Special Stratocaster, because when you start to type My New, ain't nobody's looking at that yet. And we put the word American, We've already got a guy that's showing off his new Fender American Standard Stratocaster. If you're doing a Stratocaster, you're best off just to put Stratocaster right in the beginning. Of course, you got to spell it right. And again, this is a good idea before you title a video, just to see what other people have done videos on. This kind of search is also important when you're doing topics themselves. Like maybe you just have a general idea that you want to do a video about your Stratocaster, but what's your angle going to be? So one of the first things you want to do, and we talked about this in a previous video, is look and see what other people have done. Maybe that'll give you an idea. Sometimes you come up with the title before you make the video, and the title will dictate the video that you make. Sometimes you have an idea for the video, you make the video, and then you struggle for the title. I kind of do it both ways. I'm still learning in this department, and I don't know that I have the best answer for the way to title your videos. I still sometimes even will go into videos that I've had posted for months, and I'll tweak the name a little bit and see if maybe it gets a few more hits in search. This Covers on Corner I'm not really doing anymore, but again, the titling was important. I just didn't put Cover Song Corner Episode 5 because guess what? Nobody knows what the hell that is. But they do know the song High and Dry. They also know Radiohead. Then we put the name of the series and the episode in there. So make sure the most searchable part of your title is right up front. Now we're going to get into tags. Tags and descriptions, data tags. These are the things that help people find your videos on YouTube. The users can't see them. You bury them in the metadata, but they're still important. Even though titling and descriptions are also important, tags are important as well. We're going to show you the right things to do, the wrong things to do, and some pro tips. All right, now we're going to look at tags. And again, tags is something you want to look out on YouTube. There's tons and tons of, or there's not tons and tons, but there are a couple handfuls of people that will try to help you with your tags. You want to make sure that your tags are descriptive of what's actually in the video. Don't try and get cute and put a hot topic that everybody's searching for in there that has nothing to do with your video, because that will actually harm traffic to your video more than it'll help. But remember, when people are searching, several elements go into the search. The title, the first so many characters of the description. It's important to make sure things that aren't in your title, put those keywords in your description. It's actually gotten so important with the title and the description that tags aren't as important now as they used to be in years past on YouTube, but you still want to make sure you make them count. You want to always put your channel name and possibly your personal name in the tags as well somewhere, and these two elements link each of my videos with the other. Try different spellings in there, like the Spider 4. Some people spell it the Spider IV. Some people just put the number 4 there. So make sure you do all that kind of stuff, and I think that'll help you in terms of tags. Tags are still kind of a mystery. Next, we're going to be talking about thumbnails, avoiding common mistakes when you're making your thumbnails, best practices, making sure that they pop, doing the kinds of things, the placement of elements within those thumbnails, and everything about thumbnails you never ever wanted to know. The last thing I'm going to show you with the computer is thumbnails. Now, when I started off, my thumbnails was garbage, and I'll show you. We'll pull one up from the early days. I was just using a still from the video and this crappy program where I could put text on it. It's just all kinds of awful. It's blurry, it doesn't pop. But as you can see, I had just terrible, terrible thumbnails. Again, that's just a shot from the video of my big fat belly and some really, really low budget text over the top. So then I started learning and reading about, hey, shoot a specific photograph for your thumbnails. And so I started to do that. And I actually got to where I could put some graphics on it, and things started to get a little bit better. Don't make them overly busy, but make them so that they sort of pop. I added the logo in there, sort of make things up. See what other people are doing with their thumbnails. I know they tell you all to make this stupid surprised face. As time went on, the thumbnails got better and better. The product is right up front. You can see there, I've got all the brands in it, so it catches people's eye. They're like, ooh, Fender, Wampler, Marshall, what? I have to watch this video. I struggle sometimes with text over photographs. A lot of times you're better off to put like a rectangle behind there so that the text pops. I use Canva. It's a free website, canva.com. And the nice thing about Canva is rather than you having to know what the dimensions of a YouTube thumbnail is, it already has a template. So if you want to do like channel art for the top of your channel, or you want to do a thumbnail, oh looky there, it's 1280 by 720 pixels. It has all kinds of templates that you can use to sort of get started, and you can like pull this template over here, and maybe you don't want this background. You can totally change the background and just sort of use the layout. You can change this text, you can move it around, you can edit it, you can put your own name in there, all that kind of stuff. And then for me, especially with series that I do, and here's a really better look at what the thumbnails look like anyway that I'm doing now. You can see they're a lot more crisp. Cover song corner, I have like 3 photographs that I was rotating, but then you can just sort of reuse and you can edit it. So if I have a new one that I'm doing, I can just pull that up and basically just change the title. One thing that I do here that the YouTube gurus coach you on is the photograph itself, and I'll put these elements over top of it. You want to make an adjustment. If you grab this, one thing I do is you can see I goose the contrast and the saturation a little bit. It doesn't really look the best to look at it when you look at the normal. If you reset all those elements, see how that got just a little bit foggy? You can pull the contrast up, make it pop a little bit. I usually pull the contrast into the 20s. But that will actually pop more as a thumbnail than it will as a photograph. So if you're somebody that does a lot of photo editing, some of this stuff is counterintuitive. These were some of the first ones I started off where I just shot a photograph, and I've even gotten cutesy with the depth of field where the product is in focus and then I'm blurry and mysterious looking in the background. I would do those especially with pedals. They kind of work. There's another one of those shots. And again, stay away from this bottom right corner. If you're going to logo it, put it somewhere where it sort of pops, because again, you're looking at this in a pretty big version, but on people's phones, the thumbnails get really, really small. So if you have a graphic logo that you really feel pops and identifies your brand, make sure you put it there where people will see it. And if you look at all my videos, ain't nothing in the bottom right corner that I care about. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of So You Want to Be a YouTuber. This was part 4. There's at least one more part coming up, part 5. I think I can wrap the whole thing in 5. By the end of these 5 videos, if you still want to be a guitar YouTuber, then you are one obstinate, badass, brave sumbitch. As always, I thank you for your time. Please hit the like and subscribe button. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's GearGasms on all 3 of those bad boys. If you want to support the channel, we got some hideous t-shirts like the one I'm wearing today. They don't cost a whole hell of a lot. There's a link in Teespring underneath every video, and not a damn one of you has bought one yet. It's a wonder I've got enough money at the end of the week to feed my kids. But whatever you do, I hope you keep coming back here week after week on GearGasms.